hello, everybody. I'm Eric,
And I'm Alice.
and welcome to another edition of Tea Time with Kutcher Travels.
Hopefully everyone's been doing well.
And on today's show, we're going to be talking about the Walt Disney World Disability Assistance Service Pass.
Commonly referred to as the DAS Pass, DAS.
So basically, talk a little bit about what you need to do first to get started with this.
So, as everyone knows, we like to focus here at Kutcher Travels about traveling with special needs, autism, disabilities as a whole, both visual ones and non-visual ones. So those invisible diseases, autoimmune diseases, all that fun stuff. So, for Disney, they updated a few years ago their disability access system and service. So a DAS pass is what helps you, not necessarily for a mobile issue, but if you're having you have another issue or disability or issue, concern, shall we say, not issue, but concern about going through and accessing Disney's waits and standing in line. This does not help with if you're a wheelchair or mobile issue. For those do a different line. This is if you're like, you have diabetes, for example.
Or vasovagal-syncope.
Or I know some people that use it are for the attention deficit, autism, those that have that inability to stand in line for, say, a half an hour, 45 minutes, and you need to go into like a virtual queue. That is what this system is. It shortens those wait times. It doesn't eliminate them completely, especially depending on what time of year you're going. So if you went in, mid-July, you're still going to have a wait, but it helps cut that wait down.
Yes, and also it's allowing you to do other things, whether it be go into a store or go into a restaurant, and be able to get to that ride or attraction on your time.
Yep.
For the most part.
Yeah, I know when I first was going through the process after they've updated the DAS system, the woman I spoke to about it, she says it allows you to do Disney your way. So it allows you to have that flexibility where if you need somebody that happens to need to monitor how overheated they get, otherwise you faint, it allows you to go to that cool restaurant, sit down, have a drink, have some water, relax for a few minutes before you get back out into the heat. Or somebody with Crohn's or one of those other intestinal issues that allows you to, if you need to the restroom, it allows you to go and freshen up if something's bothering you. If you're diabetic, which I know some of my clients have used it for diabetes, where they've had uncontrolled their sugars, no matter how good they monitor it, still has a tendency of dropping when you're on vacation or spiking. Gives them a chance to go make sure they have something in their system, make sure their insulin's good, and that they're not going to drop on the ride.
So basically what you would do is you would go to the website that Disney has dedicated to it, and you'd be able to pre-register, and also 30 days to up to 2 days prior to arriving at that particular park, you're able to make DAS advance reservations for up to 2 attractions per park. The thing that people get confused with often is when, as far as timeline goes, the 30 days up to 2 days prior is per exact date of going to that particular park. So if you, for example, have a reservation from June 5th to June 10th, the 30 to 2 days for June 5th is different than the 30 to 2 days for June 10th.
Yeah. So basically what you do is it's based off of your checkout date. Is not your check-in date, which is slightly different than like dining reservations.
Correct.
So at least right now with the park reservation system still in play. Next year, that's going to probably change when they remove that.
Yes.
But right now, it's based off of your checkout date. And typically, you want to do it. The way I've been calculating it for my clients when they have to go do it is about 20 days. That way, it's not at the very beginning, and you've got a little leeway. And as you're getting closer, it's actually going to be less wait time when you're dealing with things. And I'll explain that in a moment.
So once you make those 2 DAS advanced registrations, it's going to look a certain way on your My Disney Experience slide. So those, for example, here for us, it was Alien Swirling Saucers on May 11th from 11:30 to 12:30, or Twilight Zone Tower of Terror on May 11th from 11:30 to 12:30.
Because it's one that, let's explain a little bit more instead of just jumping in there, Eric. When you pre-register for this, typically what you used to have to do is when you got to Disney, you would have to go to guest service. They would take your photo, link your Magic Band or ticket to the request, and everybody in your party. Okay? By pre-registering, you're skipping that step when you get to the park. So when you get to the park, you don't have to spend that hour in line, depending on the season. You're doing it from the comfort of your own home. So from your couch, your office, your car, you can do it on your tablet or phone. And you're doing that registration. You do a video call or conference with one of the guest service representatives from Disney. They do take your photo during it, and they do tell you about that, and they answer any questions. Because it's something that in depth, we can't do it, so we talk our clients through it.
So what are some of the typical questions that cast member might ask?
What they typically ask is, what is the issue that you have? They don't need the full scientific Latin terms for it, but basically the simple common terms. I have this disease, or I have this issue, and as a result, I need, for example, if it's Crohn's, I need to be able to access a bathroom. Or vascuvagal. Translation, if I overheat, I pass out. I'm a diabetic. My sugars are not completely under control at the moment. So I may drop or I may spike, and I need to be able to go somewhere where I can take my insulin or get a snack. And I can't guarantee when that'll happen. So they just ask some questions like that. Do they need a full medical history? No. Do they need a note from the doctor? No. Then they ask who you're traveling with, and if you guys are linked on your My Disney Experience, so that way you can make it for your entire party. So that way, if it's mom, dad, grandkids, grandpa, and grandma, everybody's together, you can make the reservation for the whole party. Or if it's just you, that's fine too. That way they know what's available. And then because you've taken care of this prior, they give you those bonus 2 pre-selections, like we were showing you on that slide for a moment. And those, they base it off of what's available. Now,
for those, there are certain attractions that are not available to be done as a advanced DAS registration. Those include Rise of the Resistance, Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. They include Remy's and Ratatouille. However,
those are available once you're on site. So once you've checked into the park, so that means you've gone through the ticket booth, you've scanned your Magic Band, you scanned your park ticket, you've scanned it from the app or physically, however you're doing Disney your way. Okay? Once you're stepped foot into the park, that point you can pull up the app and you'll be able to pick your selections there.
So let's walk somebody through that right now.
Yeah, let's walk them through the next couple of slides here that we did some screenshots from our most recent trip where I was able to get my DAS pass. So There is a whole selection of them. Now, when you go into your My Disney experience, this is basically what you're looking at. This is what mine looks like. This is the first screen of it. You do have to scroll down onto the next screen where you're going to see the bottom half of your selections here. So this one here, once you're available for a DAS pass, only the person in your party that has it is first shown it. Then after that, anybody else in your party that's included for that trip will have access to it. And you see it's there at the bottom there, the DAS, Disability Access Service. You can click that and it'll show you all the ones that are available. Obviously, you can do wait times as well. I like this screen because it shows you everything. Unfortunately, it doesn't show it by park. Okay? But it works out great in the afternoon if you're thinking of hopping. So as you see it, when we were doing it that day, these are the ones that were available. So Alien Swirling Saucer, the
Flight of Passage.
Yeah. Barnstormer, Beauty and the Beast Live, Astro Orbiter. These were just the first few. Obviously, you would scroll down to see the rest of them, but I figured gives you. It also shows you what the current wait time is at that point. So Flights of Passage, at that moment when I was in the app, it was a 55-minute wait. Not necessarily for the DAS, but that gives you an idea of what the normal standby wait is.
So on the next screen, it's going to show you, for example, Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway was a 50-minute standby wait at that moment. It was 11:25 in the morning. The DAS return time was 12:05.
Yeah.
So slightly less of a wait time using the DAS, but still.
Exactly. So think of it as more like a twist on the FastPass system meets virtual queue, if you're familiar with it. So for this one, I did end up selecting the 12:05. That means anytime after 12:05, I could go, me being the one that had the DAS pass, I would be the first one to tap my magic band in, and then the rest of my party could go behind me.
Yeah.
But they have to have me first, clear me, say, they look at me, they look at the screen, their screen on their end, the cast member, and they see me on their screen. And 99% of them said, okay, Alice, you're good to go. Have fun.
Yep.
So, but for this one, you would just click on the DAS of 12:05. So just press on it, and then you would go to this next screen. This one would be just confirming your party. So if you had, 5 other people going with you, you would see everybody's names there that are linked to you for that DAS, and you could select all of them, or you can select one of them. So if it's going on, Tower of Terror, and the kids don't want to do it, or grandma and grandpa that are going with you don't want to do it, they're scared of heights or claustrophobic, whatever, you pick who you're going. So obviously for this one, I'm already pre-selected, so I have to go.
Yeah.
And then you select all, or just individually select who you go. Then you would hit continue at the bottom of the screen. All right, which would bring us to our next slide, which basically is just the review and confirm. So once again, just showing DAS return time, what the ride is. There's no height requirement on it. Any height can go. Where it's located, obviously Hollywood Studios. And it was valid for that day, which was May 11th. Redeemable anytime after 12:06. And the party was Eric and me. And then you just hit confirm at the bottom there, and then bring you to just a final confirmation, which I don't think I took a picture of that one.
But basically, that walks you through doing a DAS. The other thing to note is on currently Guardians of the Galaxy, Cosmic Rewind, and Tron Light Cycle are
a little bit different. So those guys are still using the virtual queues. So if you're familiar with the virtual queues or heard or watched any videos on them, basically what happens is at 7 o'clock in the morning and then 1 o'clock?
1 o'clock p.m.
You open the app and you click, especially if you have a park reservation for that park. So Hollywood Studios or Magic Kingdom. You click on it, and at 7 o'clock, and if you're lucky, you get it.
Yep.
And it tells you what boarding group is.
Yep.
When you go to the park, you have to wait until your boarding group is called. So if you're there at 10:15 and you're boarding group number 20 and it's called, you go up to it, and all the DAS passes go through the lightning lane. So you go over to the lightning lane line, and you look for the cast member that has the tablet. Mm-hmm. So the iPad, the tablet, and you say, excuse me, I need to schedule a return time for my DAS. And it's the person that has the DAS that needs to go over there. Okay? So if you're a party of 12 going together, it's just the person that has DAS or the person and one of their parents if it's a minor. And say, okay, we need to schedule a return time. They say, no problem. They'll scan your band, and then anybody else that's going with you at that point.
Yep.
Okay? But the main person is the one that needs to be at the front of that section so that they can schedule it. They'll scan your bands a couple of times, and then once they say you're okay, great, you're good to go, you just get in line and go through the attraction. Now, when you're going through the attraction, the ride, whatever it is, after the bands have been scanned for everybody in the party, that's when you can schedule your next one. It is think of the old Fast Pass system where once you did those 3 that were pre-existing, you could schedule one at a time. That is the way this is done. So once you schedule yours and you've scanned to go and you're in line, you can tap the app, go into it, and schedule your next one.
Yeah, and you just do it the same exact way that it was shown, the same screens.
Yep, same thing, and you can see what's available and go from there. Some of them, if it was a peak time of the day, so like lunchtime, the wait, you might have had one in an hour. Some of them we were lucky and we got them within 15, 20 minutes, but May is a slow time, especially at the beginning of May, which is when we went.
Yep, we were there at what several cast members said was the slowest week of the year.
Yeah.
So
we were able to go boom, boom, boom. And using the DAS, we were able to get onto most of the rides between all 4 parks.
Oh, yeah, and able to do it multiple times, too.
Yeah, we did Tron 3 times.
Yep.
So, and Guardians twice?
Tron 3 times, Guardians twice. Was able to do Rise only once. The other day that we tried to do Rise, it kept being either temporarily closed or a 290-minute wait.
Yep, but we did have it we did end up doing some DAS planning for it, but unfortunately, even when it was up, I wasn't feeling up to it, so we just ended up leaving. But that's a little bit about the Disney DAS system. Yep.
So definitely feel free to reach out with any questions or concerns, and you could reach out to us either at alice@kutchertravels.com or eric@kutchertravels.com.
Obviously, of course, our link tree, which you'll find linked to our Facebook page, where we have tons of videos from our trip, some reels from the Space 220, and all that good stuff.
Definitely check it out.
All right. Thank you guys for tuning in. Have a wonderful rest of your day and a great evening, and safe travels. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.